Check. Okay, I think that is all of. Hello. Let's see. There we go. Hello, everyone. Hello. So today we're looking to get our GitHub Actions set up to do the deployment of our worker in Cloudflare. Let me just take care of that. That's good. There we go. Okay, cool. So let's see where we are. All right, I have already created. Now, you probably want to actually see my screen, don't you? There we go. I have gone into Cloudflare, into my profile. Then within my profile, I went to authentication. And nope, sorry, API tokens. I created an API token that has the ability to edit workers. If you go in here, one of the default templates is to edit a Cloudflare worker. Let me turn that on and turn this to there. Okay. I took that token that it gave me and I created a GitHub repository for our worker, and I've already pushed just the latest changes, nothing fancy. Just the same way GitHub works. Now maybe we could do a video or whatever on Git at some point, but that's not part of this. So then once I created that repository, I went to settings and then into so this is the repositories settings, not my account settings. Went to the secrets and variables, a secret for actions, and I created a repository secret for this action. And I just named it CF Cloudflare API key worker. WORKER. For some reason it didn't look like a real word. Okay, so now we need to actually set up the action, which I have done nothing for yet. So let's see what we need to do for that. Okay. Go to actions. Let's see if they already have a Cloudflare action. Okay, looks like not. Now we can always do it the hard way, but I'm hoping, but we'll see if there is a simplified way. So I am just checking if there is one. It doesn't seem like it. So we can start with a blank template, I think is what it's called. No, manual workflow. So that's probably what we want. Let's see if there's an action. Cloudflare. Flare. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so first things first, we need to create a, I think, is it GitHub Action configuration file. So it's just going to be some YAML. I think it's .github/actions, but I just want to validate it. Let's see. Am I missing? Oh, there we go. .github/workflows and then / a name. So from the root project, let's do a new file. Nope. And it's, can we copy that? No. .github workflows file name. .github workflows all right, we're going to rename that in just a minute. Actually, let's just close everything. I could have closed cancel. Let's keep that. Oh no, I actually have that somewhere else. Don't save. Close. Just clean things up so we can see what we're working on. I want to understand if there is a way to use multiple files, if that makes sense. Actually, I don't know if we should do that. I think not. I think let's just call it deploy. Just deploy. All right, so we need a name, build and deploy to Cloudflare Workers. All right. Now we want an on. Let's see, where is a good place for the actual documentation? Okay, here we go. On push. Push to branch, and this is not master, it's main. Yep. Permissions. This modifies the default permissions granted to the GitHub token. This will vary depending on the needs. Assigning permissions. We should only need read, so that's fine. Concurrency doesn't matter at the moment. So then jobs is a root level. Yeah, that's fine. Name. Build. We actually don't need this at the moment, or this yet. What we do need to do is figure out how the access to the command line works, or I guess the command line. Because we need to go into a specific, or actually there's probably what we need to do is be in front end and execute the build script, or even just the build action, React scripts build. So what we actually want to understand is if we need to install React elements, or if there is a React application that runs on. Okay, runs on. Choosing the runner. So we need to update the runner to have what we need. Now, whether that includes installation, here we go. It's a uses that we need. Right. Definitely uses checkout. Okay, so that whole thing there. All right, let's just, okay, name. Checkout. Let's just name these so that we know what's happening. Build. Uses React. Now, I'm going to check that this is actually build React. Oh, okay. So we probably need to set some widths, but we want to find the action for Google Docs, or Google Docs, GitHub Docs, actions. Okay, so we are looking for React. React build. Let's see, we should be able to still look at these even if the source should include multiple elements. So if we come here and we look at the action, npm run build, okay. npm CI run Okay. So I think with that, let me move this over here so I can see it, so that I can take what I think we have here. So instead of a uses, let's do a npm run. Yes, but actually we need to cd into the front end, because we're going to be in the root. Actually, so if we're this may be in the wrong directory. Yes, that is in. We need to be in my worker 1. So let's move that there. Move. All right, and then let's open the folder. Save it. Okay. Just need to be in the correct directory so that we don't get confused. Okay. Oh, we'll need to add all of this. I think I was making some other changes, but we'll see about those. Okay, so from here we go into the front end, and from there I think we just want CI, because that will do there. Let's actually just look at explicitly what that does. It's related to the running npm installation in CI/CD that does some optimizations. Okay, so it runs it with a clean slate, so it ignores the package lock. Now, why would we do that? So that prevents issues, but I think that can end up with some unexpected dependencies, but also, depending on the environment, I think it could give us unexpected results. So let's just start with CI, and we can tune as needed. All right. So we build the React app. Well, we can actually do those in separate steps. So install dependencies. So we can npm CI. So we need to install the dependencies for both the default project as well as the front end project. Okay. And then we can build like that. And then deploy at that's pretty nice that it just kind of figured out what I was going to do, which is almost definitely use that. And we do want to use that API token, and our environment is production. That could be exactly what we want, but let's do name. Before we go to that step, validate. We just want to do a find on, or actually, yeah, yeah, find find on assets. Okay, so that should list all of our files. Actually, find isn't going to give us any information. We might want to do an ls, right? Because find is just the list of files. A recursive list on assets. Okay. All right, I think that's good. Now let's see what our... So we definitely want to add that. What changed in app? Yes, I'm okay with that. Index. That I can update later. Why does header appear to be new? Did I not add any of these files? I didn't add any of these files. Hold on to that one. All right, I'm okay with the current state. We're not going to be doing a deployment yet anyway, so it doesn't much matter. These are okay, these are okay. Yeah, that's okay. So we'll hold off on that one. Token refresh, mostly working, and added the GitHub action to build. All right. Okay, so let's go look at okay, so if we go back to our GitHub repository, let's cancel those changes. Did not push? Oh, okay, so it didn't push. Okay. Our deploy is there. Now whether it's working or not, we'll see. So we come over to the actions. And let's see what build is doing. So checked out, so that's a good step. I think I was thinking we might want to split those into separate actions. Nope, not that one. Oh, yeah. So install dependencies for the back end versus install dependencies for the front end. Okay, the build ran. Cannot access ALR. Ugh, come on. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's split that up. Install dependencies back end. Front end. Now, concurrency. I'm just wondering if we can install the two different dependencies, but I don't know if we get some sort of npm lock issue. Let's come back to that. Or actually, just validate. We have back. Ah, yes. So there is a change there. Install dependencies backend, install dependencies front end, some blank lines, dash ALR. Okay. And split. Backend build. Should just make it a little easier to read, and potentially we can split it into, or we can use concurrency to execute them both at the same time to speed up the build. I thought so. Push. Validate still failed. Assets. Oh, because no. Okay. Oh. Right, because assets comes back to... Hello? What's happening? Oh. Assets is in the root. It's not in front end because our build process uses the build path of -- assets. Yeah. Now I know that what's in the build is going to be different than what we have here, but let's sort that out after the fact. Okay. So now this deployment should actually work. I hope. Well, and this isn't actually a deployment. This is just validating their build worked as expected. Okay. It worked. So our validation, which is just listing our files, created files, and their timestamp looks correct. So now, if we test out what Copilot tells us should work. But actually, before we even do that, let's just go and check the Cloudflare Wrangler action. Let's see, where is it? What was it called? Marketplace. Let's also look at see what our usage limits are. I don't think we'll come anywhere near it. 20 concurrent jobs. We just have one. I just wasn't sure if there was a maximum runtime. Or a maximum number of executions per month. Don't see it, but we can look more later. What am I looking for? I'm looking for actions. No, marketplace. Let's try that one. Searching the marketplace. I found this just a moment ago. Where did it go? Oi. Oi, what are you doing? Actions. understand. Where did the marketplace go? Did the whole of GitHub just make a whole bunch of changes on me right in the middle of using the website and it has broken my brain, or am I just insane? Well, I know I am a little insane, but oh wait, I think I saw it. Finding and customizing. There. Good grief. Okay, I knew it was a different color. So we're looking for Wrangler. Deploy to Cloudflare Workers with Wrangler. I think it's this one, right? Because it suggested, Copilot suggested Cloudflare Wrangler action. Cloudflare Wrangler action v3. Uses that. Name deploy uses Wrangler action with that and that. Now, do we need anything else? As in, how does it know which worker this should deploy to? Deploy Wrangler action. Because the the API key is an API key for. Oh. That's right. Cloudflare is where I'm trying to go to. In Cloudflare, when I created the API key, so my profile, API tokens, view the summary. No, it doesn't say it here. So if I create a token based on this, you select the account, you select the zone. No, it didn't select the worker itself. Workers. My worker one. Now the name does match, but I don't. Those are the main deployments. How does the GitHub action have any clue which worker to deploy to? Pages deploy project name. Global API. Wrangler action to the workflow. Add Wrangler action to the workflow for your worker page application. Yes, but how does it know which token? Okay, you'll need to configure Wrangler. Yes, I've done that. That's fine, because we're working from our root, which is fine. Publish to a specific root. Environment production. Is that environment not really a production versus non-production as opposed to the name of the worker itself? I'm not sure if the worker name matching the repository name is enough for it to infer the correct destination. It shouldn't be, because what if they differ? What if you want them to differ? Let's see. Cloud. Actually, if we go to the source. Environment for what was that called again? Was it environment? Environment. Get secrets and environment variables. Starting to believe maybe environment is the worker name. Cloudflare Worker. GitHub Action. Specify worker name. It's actually the page we already had open, right? Never actually read this. No. That doesn't appear to be. This was from 2019. That's it. I see. I think I made a mistake. Where was that? So in the worker, you manage the worker. Manage the application. No. back to here from here. Inside the worker. Oh, interesting. Hadn't been here before. That's pretty cool. Might play with that some other time. Managed application did not have anything other than the service name. It appeared from this article that you manage the specific worker itself and to create an API token for the specific worker. When was this article written? The 2021, so it's changed since then. I don't think that's it. So that's version 2, or no, this is version 3. Is the account ID mapped to the... Not logs. I mean, I can just try it. I don't think it's going to work. And I really don't want to know what weird results we might end up with. I only have one worker, but I really need to understand what would actually happen here. Wait. Manage API token. No, this takes me to the same spot. Perhaps it's the account ID. Let's see. Account ID. I mean, I would assume account ID is the same for the entirety of the account. Secrets. API token API token account ID. All right, let's try it. I don't trust it, but let's try it. Okay, let's see. No way. No way it's just gonna know. Action. Oh, we can drop that validate step. Shocked. It broke. It failed. I'm so shocked. So shocked. Oh, wait. So the Wrangler toml is where it gets the information from, I guess. But no, that should still already... All right, we'll come back. Let's just, while we're here, let's get rid of validate, because we don't need that. Okay. Here, deploy failed because there were logs that gave us some information. What the hell? Why did you swallow up those logs? What the hell? Oh, there we go. Okay. No environment. Okay, so we didn't have an environment in the Wrangler toml. Okay, but I bet that is how it knows what to do. That's where it gets it from. Don't. Okay, so Wrangler knows, so the action doesn't need to know. That makes perfect sense. Wrangler toml environment. env.staging. Okay, so that's how you would specify different names between different environments. So its name is actually that, so we could do we could do something like that. We can, at the moment, just leave that off, I think. Or Wonder, we haven't added a name for our root yet, or zone. So let's just leave the production off for now. So remove validation and environment for deploy. Okay, now before we push it, let's just go and have a quick look at the current state. So we've got the all-in-one page and no menu. Our existing React app oh, well, the server's down, but it has a menu anyway. So if our new app ends up with a menu after our deployment completes, then we know that we've actually done a deployment. Okay. There. In a non-interactive environment, it's necessary to set a Cloudflare API token. Cloudflare API. I already did that. I did that. I did that. CF API token. Oh, I bet it's actually, I bet I named it something different. That would be a mistake here. Is that within here, settings, secrets, action secrets. Yes, yes, yes. Come on. Hello, what are you doing? What the hell? Oh. API token. Okay. Now. If you gotta use the right name. think this is it. I think this is the one. Hey, okay, so now if we come over here and refresh, we have a menu. We have a login button. We can trigger the API. Login. We log in, we can get our customers. We can get one or more customers. If we go home and we refresh the page, it logs us in. It still works. Now, the only problem is if we refresh the page on customers, it does some dumb stuff. Oh, okay. I think it's because we don't have access and it doesn't do a redirect. Although I'm not sure if that's even possible. Awesome. How about that? I'm curious about how to make that work properly, but it's cool. We haven't implemented logout, but our GitHub action works. Yay! And we don't need. We can leave the. We'll leave it here for now because we might need to make some changes once we do the rest of this. Now, one thing to avoid confusion, I think we should do. We still have this React app. Let's see. Let's just do a quick logo. Logo. Creator. Just make sure I don't bring anything over here that we don't want. Those are awesome. There we go. That'll work. DevOps Dave. Worker. Cool. That'll work for me. Share. Download. Now, favicon creator. Okay. That gave us all of these files. So now, let's see. Let's close that. close that. It needs to land in our assets. Does this? Yes, here we go. Can't open that from there, nor can I get to it from here. The problem is the difference between my host environment and my guest environment. The virtual machine that we're editing files from, I can move files, but it takes a minute. So if let's go up a level. Let's cut that. We go to paste. Okay. Move. Slash. Fit. Oh, that is the zip file. Actually. Star into front end public. Okay. And now git add front end public. And also let's add vagrant okay. So now our logo is in here. Let's we want to just display it on the page, but I'm not sure how React is going to read where that image is. No, stop that. Let's see, where is it? We want to go to app.js. All right. Logo. So new component, new file, logo / logo dot JavaScript. So just a function of logo actually... Hello, what are you doing there? Ugh. Rename. Come on. Bah. Oh my gosh. Come on. Okay. And the source is called that. Cool. Now we've exported the worker. Now, I don't think this is right. If we come back and import logo from there. Now, I don't think that this will actually be displayed, but let's do a cd front end. npm run start server. I can't remember. Package start. Components. We're importing logo from logo. Export. Oh, export default. Let's follow the same pattern. We export default logo. Okay. Let's see here. Yes. React. No. This React? No. Yes, this is the one. Or is it that one? It's that one. Okay. Oh! Okay. All right. So now we have that. Let's just... I suppose we could do just a minor style. Just to shrink the size or whatever. Come on. Oh, look, and our fav icon did change. React add styling. I know there are like 3 or 4 different ways to do React styling. Right now, I just want to do just a simple one. Yeah, so a const style and the style equals. Okay. So a const of div style const of image style equals max width equals 4 rims. Oh, it's a double, right? This is div style. Is it 2 or 1? Just 1. Can't keep my templating languages straight. Too many of them. Okay. Just wanted to add something. Nothing particularly interesting or correct about it. I just wanted to add the image. Though, I bet that image is large. Network. Doesn't it show the size here? I thought it showed the size. Why can't I see the... Okay, because it's that. Could have sworn the size was, I guess it's not part of the header, it's part of, where, I don't guess it matters. Is there any information? It's fine. I need to shrink the image, turn it into a JPEG, or strip all the PNG stuff out of it. But it's fine. It's fine. We added the logo. We added logo. And we don't need to do anything with that right now. But added image, logo image, and fave icon. All right, let's push that. Okay. All right. So let's just go validate that that gets pushed properly. I'm sure it will. Now that we figured out the things. Wait, was that the one that just finished? That's not, no. Sweet. haven't. Okay, looky there. There's our icon. There's our fave icon. Okay, keep that up for now. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right, I think that's it for the GitHub Workers for now. There are some changes to the React that I am ready to deal with. We have in our header we have a logout, but we don't have a root for logout. So let's add that logout there. Do you need to be off for logout? But actually, does logout even... Let's do this. Let's leave health check like that. Let's redirect to log in if you log out. But we're going to use the require auth. I'm thinking about, hey, Calzone, how are you? Are you using GitHub Actions or React at all yourself? Yeah, you've used GitHub Actions? Yeah, I've used it in a larger project before, but this is the first time I've used it to deploy to Cloudflare. Don't know if you saw the hassle with making it work, but it was mostly just my silliness. Quickly show it again. What the deploy script looks like. It's just checking out, installing the dependencies between the worker and the front end, which is the React application, the build, which does the run build from a React build, and then a deploy with Cloudflare Wrangler. Yeah, I also am using, so my main site is built in static pages using Jekyll, but I'm currently building something with a worker that has an API for the back end that connects to, so it's a Cloudflare worker using Cloudflare D1 SQL-like database, and so that we can actually do a full application flow. And I'm a back-end / DevOps whatever engineer and not a front-end engineer, so I thought it'd be fun to look like a fool while trying to do React. Why on Cloudflare? Just to learn more about the Cloudflare services. I've used Cloudflare as a DDoS protection and DNS service for years and years and years, since at least 2016, maybe earlier than that. But I only found that they had the pages, and that led me to find all the other services. So I had used, or am still currently using, GitHub Pages for a Jekyll generated site, and then I wanted a second site, and to do that, to get the DNS, it was a little bit wonky. Cousin says I don't use Cloudflare for anything else other than DDoS protection, dedicated machine, or powerful enough VPS. Yeah, for sure, Cloud, it can be way too expensive. Everything I'm building on at the moment is free tier. So it, depending on the size of your project, Cloud can be too expensive, but also at a certain scale level. So when it gets bigger than a small project, but smaller than a gigantic project, the amount of human time it takes to deal with maintaining servers and services, Cloud can be a whole lot less trouble. So paying an extra $1,000 a month for cloud services as opposed to an extra 10 grand a month for a human to deal with maintaining the services. Those numbers are just pulled right out of where. So yeah, but I have really screwed myself with cloud services in the past, thinking using free credits, and it's like the drug dealer that gives you a free sample. The credits were great right up until they expired, and then I had too many services to scale down and had several months of way too expensive bills. Wouldn't have been so bad if we weren't in the scale down phase of the startup at that point. Okay. So, do we want our logout to have its own page to land on, or will we just be redirecting to login anyway, and the require auth can deal with the logic to do the logout? It's a very good idea to run production on a free Oracle VPS. Well, let's have a look at. I've not used Oracle's cloud. Wow, their website is very difficult to understand. Nothing about Oracle, in my opinion, hasn't been very difficult to understand, but Oracle VPS. Always free services. 2 Oracle autonomous databases, 2 compute VM. Huh. Really? That's interesting. I will have to keep that up, and maybe we'll do that on stream tomorrow. Create a Oracle VM and play with it and see what it's like. Thanks for the suggestion. I did not even know that they had compute type services. I only think of enterprise level databases or Java. But that's not it. They don't even do, Oracle doesn't even do Java anymore. Or am I a son. Does Oracle still own Java? Oracle Java. Generally not a good idea to use them. Oracle has a bad reputation. They can boot you off for any reason. Okay. Yeah, so looks like they do still. Because they owe Java, that should tell you most everything you need to know. But it might be worth knowing. Any service provider can kick you off, really. So you're kind of at the mercy of whoever you are paying, especially if you're not paying them enough for it to be painful for them to get rid of you. Where were we? No, not that. Stop it. Come on. Require off. Let's get that up here. I found a reasonably cheap service provider that started off grassroots style. Who's that? Or, I mean, you don't have to share it if you don't want to, but Cayenne host. All right, let's have a look. X. I'm going to bring it up, not on screen first, just in case you're trying to get me. Not just another VPS provider. Services. €15 a month, 4.5 for the cheapest tier. Oh, sold out. Sold out. Looks like they don't have any capacity to bring on any new. But let's just check their pricing. So 2 CPUs they're currently renting. I see. 2 CPUs, 50 gigabytes of storage, 2 gig of RAM. So I currently use, DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean's one of my go-tos. Can you just show me the pricing? So for $4 a month. What? Where'd that go? Good grief. So a quarter of the memory, of a fifth of the storage, and then for 6, so that Kian, I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. Actually, do they have? Don't know where their pricing does look pretty good if they become available again. But yeah, DigitalOcean's been good to me. Always solid service. Never any pricing issues. Another one, Vulture. I've always heard good things of. Nope. Is that right? Did I go to the... No, that is right. Okay. No. So their pricing... monthly 5. So again, still a good bit less capacity for the 5. Hetzner currently has the best price, you say. ARM and virtual CPUs are the same price. Is there a difference in the capacity? What's the difference between... Oh, there we go. So for the lowest tier, for 451, 1 vCPU, 2 gig of RAM, 20 gig of space. And then for the ARM, 2 vCPUs, 4 gig of RAM. Oh, so twice the capacity for ARM for the same price. That could be pretty interesting for a less than $5 a month. Nice. I have to add that into a list of things to poke at. Thanks for that suggestion. Here. Console. Clear. Are you a back-end engineer or a systems administrator or a DevOps type? What's your current sysadmin? Cool. That is probably my default mindset that I come from, and all the other things are somewhat ancillary to that, which is why becoming so interested in DevOps was easy for me, because I built the software and maintained it, but I maintain it in a ops type mindset. So I've always said I'm 51% ops and 49% dev, which can lead to more, oh my God, it's all going to burn, as opposed to, oh, I'll just ship it, it'll be fine, which can cause somewhat conflict in the initial release, but usually helps avoid burning fires at 3 o'clock in the morning with pagers going off. Let's see. Let's just add in this real quick. If our path equals logout, for some reason nobody can write proper documentation for their Docker deployments. 100% agree. 100%. One thing I would say about documentation, or I do say, is that documentation's so often terrible, and I do know that some of the worst documentation I've ever seen I wrote, so I can't be too upset at other people. Documentation is like all the other really important things, observability and all the other things that are extremely important. They almost always come at the end as an afterthought. It's like, oh crap, we're ready to ship this, but we don't have any unit tests. We don't know how to know if the service is running. Okay, well, let's hurry and slap some stuff on it and hope for the best. Not saying that that's the way that it currently is in my current position, but I've definitely seen that in the past for sure, and been involved as a key contributor to the bad stuff myself when things get to crunch time. Now, we want to exactly that and return our lockout. So when we execute logging out, we're just removing our access and refresh tokens from our state and then removing the refresh token from local storage. So first we log out. Do we need to await that? I'm still so unclear in React when we await things and when we actually nothing there should be that should all be synchronous, so we should be good. Okay, so now if we come back over to here, let's refresh the page. Customers, we got our customers, we got the right numbers. Now log out. This should take us to the login page after, actually, let's go to application. We have a refresh token. Hit log out. We have a login. We have no token. Awesome. That's not my name. That's not my name. Okay. Now I just have to figure out why that doesn't work. So when I'm on the customers page and refresh, it does some crazy things. Oh, refresh token got marked as undefined. That's what's happened. Good to know. Okay. So when we're at home and refresh, it doesn't. When we're at customers, it's definitely with the asynchronous execution of something. Okay, but this is actually part of the required auth. So this is doing Is authenticated. Okay. Our is authenticated is doing the refresh token and then performing the rest of that. But we're hitting this and then completing. So I think because we're executing the is authenticated. And it's not awaiting, which I don't even think we can do. So customers is hitting require auth. So before any of this happens, we're hitting this. That is eventually ending up in an asynchronous call to the API. The rest of this gets executed before this all completes. So we need to figure out how to either, so if we just add async here, I don't think that's going to work. Right? Objects are not a valid React child. So what's possible is that we could add an asynchronicity inside of the require auth child. So what we could do is let's just actually just double check before we even go down that path that it's possible. React async and component yeah, that's what I was thinking, something like that. Oh, okay, so the use effect is how we would do that. So we could set the state outside. All right, let's just test the const. Wait, but this is inside the require auth. I don't think this is. I don't think this is... This is not inside of our customer component. Require auth is a component, though. Let's see, just a second. Let me check the Discord server from the message that Niraj sent us yesterday. So what he says that he is doing is instead of his use authentication, he's got the use effect, but I think we need it before. So I think unexpected. Oh. Use effect is not defined. Because we need to import it from the React component, or from React. Console file. Okay, so if we log in, so when we hit login, we get the require auth use effect. So the use effect is authenticated happens, then require auth, then fetching customers is authenticated again, and require auth use it. So the use effect is like the last thing that happens. So it's possible that we do this. Right? No, see, I think... I don't think that's right. But if that's all we do, what happens? So we save that. This should probably break. Yeah. Hey Naresh, how are you? Does this code look familiar to you? Oh yeah, I can show you what we've done. So you missed the struggle, but I can show you the happy path. GitHub. So recap, we inside of Cloudflare, we went to my profile, then went to API tokens, created an API token based on edit Cloudflare Worker, which gave the correct permissions. Then we created a GitHub repository for the current worker and React code. Went to our settings, secrets and variables, actions, created a CF account ID and a CF API token worker. So we inserted our secrets. Then we created a file .github/workflows/deploy.yaml. It does a checkout based on the existing GitHub action that they supply. We then did a CI on our worker backend and our React front end. Then we did a build, which is the npm run build, which is based on our React package JSON here, which does the it specifies the build path and then does a React script of build. That then the next step is that we use Cloudflare's Wrangler action, and it deploys through their action to the account. And the thing that was especially confusing to me was that there's a wrangler.toml file, and this is where the specification between GitHub knows about our account. How does the deployment know where to land? Which worker should this all be deployed to? That's via the either this name or something I have not implemented yet, but will do at some stage, is a different environment. So if we had, say, a staging worker and then a production worker, we would do... Actually, let me just stick that in there so I don't forget. Yeah, so we need to work on... we could add a staging worker and a production worker, and I need to set up the URL settings for that worker and see how that works. After that was all working... and I can show you in GitHub. Nope, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I love DevOps. I mean, what it is, in my opinion, is taking the things that suck and automating them. So if it sucks, automate it, and then you just have to deal with the automation, as opposed to doing the same crappy stuff over and over and over again. That's kind of a simplification of it. But then here are all of the executions that we attempted. So failing. Then we got it to run just to show us that the build happened. Then a couple more failures. Then this was our last build when we added just an image. So we created a logo. Open image in new tab. Yeah. So just a simple logo with Canva DevOps Dave Worker, and then so we could have a fav icon, and then so the logs are it's setting up the job, it's checking out the code. There's where it installs the back-end dependencies and the front-end dependencies. I think one of the things that I probably want to do soon is because we've split out the dependency installation between these two is it's something like concurrency. I'm not sure exactly how we can make that concurrency thing work. I need to dig more into it, but then that way it will run both of those installs, the npm installs, at the same time on different threads, I think. After that, we added in a logout route, and logout just as a redirect to login if after going through require auth. Now, you may know better, being much more familiar with React than I am. I thought it made sense to add into the require auth that if the path is logout, we execute the logout from our auth provider, which does a, just it deletes our tokens and then removes the token from local storage. And then what I'm doing right now is, I think you saw this yesterday where I was having an issue where it was double executing the request. It wasn't the fav icon like I thought it was. It was not index.js. That's the wrong one. The front end source. It was the React strict mode. That's what was executing it twice. So it would execute once and then execute again for React strict mode. And that was why I was trying to fetch the token, then screwing up the token before the token was returned. And then I never was able to log in. So now if, let me undo what I screwed up. What did I screw up last? Why? Okay. So it's not screwed up anymore. So we have our token. If we go to our home and refresh, it logs back in with so it fetches a new access token. If I go to customers and refresh, it screws up the token. And if we look at the application, it's stored it as undefined. I'm almost positive it's related to the asynchronous call to the API before customer is trying to render, and we don't have an auth token, so somehow it just loses its whole mind. So what I was trying to figure out how to do was to the main page works. So any route that doesn't use the authentication, the require auth component should be fine. It's when it requires auth that is starting the is authenticated trigger. So I added in this a true or false for should refresh. So we only go and fetch it if we need to. So we can do authentication checking without actually refreshing if we want. So I guess if I set this to false, but then I don't think I ever actually would trigger it. So I think then that means that if I come back and log in, and we refresh from here, it shouldn't actually work. Or no, this might actually work now. Because what is something is executing is authenticated within the use effect within the auth provider is dealing with the authentication. But now if I come to customers and refresh, I still think I'm going to have an error because it screws up the token. And so it seems that probably it's coming in and checking if it's authenticated, and it's redirecting so we should be to this state, and it's redirecting to login while it's in the middle of fetching the token, and something isn't right there. I think if we could wait for the return of the auth here, that might solve the problem. So I don't know yet. And we're at 2 hours already. Might not be solving this one today. The React is a little confusing to me in the which things should be synchronous, which things shouldn't be synchronous. I just don't understand enough about the call stack and rendering bits of React yet. When changing root, it should not be fetching a new token. You should check if it's cleared when it's not the changing the root, it's the come on. Oh my goodness. Wrong browser. So if we log in, so yes, changing or fetching a new token would be crazy. What's happening though is that, okay, so we have a token now. And now if we switch back and forth between customers and home, there's no change in the token. And if we look at the console and clear the console, customers, we're checking is authenticated. The require auth is saying, yeah, we're already authenticated. But then it's triggering is authenticated again. And then we're getting to the completion of the use effect within require auth. Not sure why it's getting is authenticated as double triggered when hitting customers. So if we go back to the home, is authenticated is never triggered. Customers, it's double triggered. But we're authenticated at that stage. So I suppose I could look for everywhere where we're calling is authenticated. Well, actually, so I think it's that. So if I, okay, Let's leave that alone for now. Okay, so if I come back to home, refresh the page. Is authenticated and ran once when I refreshed the home, but it didn't actually do the thing. And that was because I undid the use effect. So if I save the use effect in the use provide auth, refresh, oh, it already refreshed. So it is triggering is authenticated 1, 2, 3, 4. Refresh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's triggering it 5 times. This is definitely one of them. Let's add in this. So it calls it with false, it calls it with true, true, false, true. So if we look for everywhere that calls is authenticated. The header's calling it. The header's calling it. So if the header is always calling it, but that's with false, right? So that is calling it but not refreshing the token. So that is calling to know whether we should display log out or log in and whether or not to display customers. Maybe there's a better way to do that. But that is not refreshing the token. That is just calling it with false. The other place is in the require auth. But the require auth is only used, not the header we want to hear. That is used in customers log in and log out currently. And then it's used in the use effect. So that is 3 places it should be executed. Only 2 places I would think a refresh of the home screen should execute it. 1 false and 1 true. Those make sense. And then I guess I don't know where the rest of them are coming from. When we navigate to customers, maybe I should log before calling it. So this could be use effect. Yes, then we could go to the header. What do we call it in the other? It was in the require auth. Where? I can close that for now. And close customers. It was in the okay. Header. And then the final place was here. This is in the require auth. hell? Checking. This one's actually checking for all, no refresh. Let's just say no refresh. This is checking for the header is checking for off, no refresh. Actually, all these are no refresh now. No. The use effect is still will refresh token. Okay. So now if we come back and check home refresh, checking for off, no refresh. The user provider will refresh token is authenticated, should refresh true. Refreshing the token is refreshed. Access token is now that is authenticated is true. Then the header checks is authenticated, should refresh false. And then the use effect happens again. So the use effect is happening twice because of the state change? No, because we haven't passed that in. How would it know? Because is authenticated is created twice, right? So we're let's use off. Require auth. So we're executing we're invoking the use provide auth, which will trigger use effect. Then we're triggering the use provider auth in the header, which will also trigger use effect. So we are triggering is authenticated twice. In home, it doesn't cause a problem because we're not dealing with the token. Okay, so that's starting to make sense. And I think I can see a way out of it. But I don't think I have it in me to finish today. Okay. I think we're almost there in making the routes work the way we want. We have it automatically deploying to Cloudflare. So we might add in some URL stuff tomorrow, but we also might be able to finish this token refresh silliness, which is all down to my not quite understanding React yet, but I'm getting there. Still, will never be a front-end developer. Not going to happen. But I can at least poke around in it without breaking all the things. I think. Okay. Cool. So I hope there was some interesting information here today. I learned some stuff. I'm happy to have our app deploying automatically now. I don't need to worry about doing the Wrangler deploy locally anymore. pretty confident we can resolve the token refresh. Maybe I need to be sure that I'm executing it from the right place, or maybe the context should actually be how we pass the authentication to the header. And the use effect can do all of the is authenticated and set that context. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we can get that. Yeah, we do get the auth context. Yes. I think that's what we need to do. We need to not call is authenticated. We just need to validate that we have a user. And so use effect can. No, wait a minute, but how does provider auth get invoked? Something has to invoke that hook. But it should only be one thing. It probably should be the require auth. But we don't need to invoke the is authenticated. The require auth still needs access to the logout. So that actually might be enough. If we just do that real quick. So if we just take that out, but then instead of that, we could do, for now we can just call it just the access. The access token. Maybe it'd be a different story. Import use nope, use context import auth context we can access token equals use context auth context. So then instead of auth, access token, and then let's just get rid of that. We actually don't, we may not need that. So here we refresh. We're getting our token. See, we're still invoking user provider auth. So it's not the as authenticated part, it's the invocation of the use provider auth. No, because that's okay. That's okay, I think. Actually, I think we can we're already going to have to invoke that at some point, and I think this is the right place to invoke it. This is okay. But then in the header, in the header we can use context, import auth context, access token, instead of auth, I say access token. Or we can use a better thing like user, which we wanted to. Bah. Where are we failing? Object is not iterable. All right, I don't know. Not gonna get there today. Tomorrow morning. But for all those that came by today and offered any support, questions, or suggestions, I appreciate you. And I hope to see everyone again soon. Bye.